What's up, everybody? Holding Ashford here, bringing you Fairytail Final Season Anime Review. This is episode 314, titled The Master Enchant. Now, this is one of those episodes that I knew that no matter how good the animation was going to be for it, even though Fairytail always has best animation, that's one thing they're really good at, the music. I knew a lot of people, especially towards the ending, was going to be very upset. And there's three things that a lot of people are really going to be upset with on this episode that I'm going to break down and explain why they happen and why they make sense. Now, some might argue, that's fine. You have your opinion, I have mine. But just to give some clarification on certain things. But the episode starts off with Wendy, of course, and Ezra fighting Irene. And she was like, anyone who hurts or stops me from getting into my guild is going to suffer the punishment. And Irene was like the same. So they start fighting and scrapping and whatever. And it looks like everything Ezra did was being blocked by Irene until Wendy steps in and enchants Ezra. And she lands a couple of good hits in. And then she realizes that, oh, Wendy's an enchanter as well. And during the fight, she basically stops to tell Wendy, aren't you afraid? And Wendy was like, what do you mean? Didn't you hear my story? You have a dragon seed inside you too. You are going to become a dragon. And this is when Irene gets ticked off because Wendy's reply was, oh, I don't have to worry about that. My mother was still inside of me to suppress the seed. The seed would never grow. And when Irene heard that, she went berserk. She was like, what? You would never become a dragon? And she was like, nope. And Irene just went mad. She was just power blasting, screaming, she was like, it's unfair, I want my life back, and stuff like that. And you can see the pain in her face, and the tears, and the agony she's been through, because she can't have a regular life. And you know, there's some people who really can't deal with that. I know a lot of people probably always wish for some type of superpower, but they never really think about the consequences and reproduction those powers can do if they were real. And this is one of those things, especially the things that she had went through for the past 400 years. So, and then she decided in the battle while she's fighting Wendy and Ezra to do something smart. She basically, since she failed to enchant Ezra because Ezra was young and biologically her daughter, she was like, let me see if I can do it to another female. And she enchanted herself onto Wendy. And she succeeded, and she actually took over Wendy's body. Then it started to become a 1v1. Wendy, which is now Wendy Barbarian, Irene's new body, her host, that she's now in control of fully. And she kicked off Wendy's mind versus Ezra. And Ezra was getting stomped. And there was, of course, some fan surface jokes here and there because she's touching her chest and she's like, oh, well, the chest is small, but at least I got the magic power. And I'm like, oh, that's wrong. But they continue their fight, and Ezra's just getting dominated. And there was one hit that she was about to land, a critical hit, finally. But Irene, playing a mind game, was like, can you really hurt this body? And she smiled. And then we have like these sad moments of Wendy and Ezra moments, like backflash past, like when Ezra first introduced her into the guild, and you know what happened to her in the Catherine Guild, and the stuff in the bathtub scene that they had a couple episodes back. She started to remember that, and she paused her attack. And her mom was like, you too soft, Ezra. And she slapped her away, and she cast a bomb spell on Ezra. And Ezra was supposed to blow up, but she just got some scrapes and bruises, and she's like, the damage got reduction. And all you saw in the back was the body of Irene, who shouldn't be conscious, got up and was saying body reduction and damage reduction and resistance up. And when we looked, Irene's body is moving again. And the reason why it's moving is because Wendy figured if Irene can possess my body by enchanting her memories and her soul into the body and taking it over, I should be able to do the same. So Wendy tried her theory out, and since she's a soul now, because she has no body, because Irene took it, she used the same technique on Irene's body. And since Irene's body is soulless because she left and took Wendy's, she was able to grab it quickly. Now, I know a lot of people in the manga did not like that. They was like, this is BS. How did Wendy was able to do this when she never had this spell. Well, you gotta remember, first of all, she's an enchanter as well. Second, Wendy is not weak. We've seen her battle before. She's not weak. She's just mainly used for support, but she's not weak. And third, it's not far-fetched to say that she can't do it when, one, there's nothing in the body to resist it. Irene left her body and transferred her soul and memories to the other one, which was Wendy's original body. So the body was unprotected, so of course her doing this experiment, she had a higher chance than her body, rejecting it, taking it over, then getting rejected. I mean, it's not like Wendy took over Ezra's body to continue the fight. Now, that would have been BS, but that's not what happened. She took over a body that had no soul. So a lot of people are calling BS on that, but that's not really BS. But, they continue their fight and stuff, and Irene's getting real mad because she's getting bodied by her own body, which is being controlled by Wendy. So she started to scratch herself and her ribs and her stomach so Wendy could stop attacking her. And Wendy was like, I don't care how much you scar my body. They're just symbols of honor that I've had for fighting for Fairytail. I would just honor that. And Irene got real mad because no matter what she says to Wendy, it's like Wendy always has like a good, smart remark back to her. And this shows Wendy's character development and growth, which that's another thing a lot of people like to complain about Fairytail. Oh, nobody gained character growth or development. The females are only there for fan service, which that's both for BS. One, the characters do gain a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit of growth and character development. And Wendy, especially in this episode, she definitely got some character development and growth, especially with what she did. And excuse me for any noise you hear outside. They kind of celebrating the 4th of July kind of early around here in Philly where I live. So, when I live around like a train station and a highway, so if you hear any noise that's outside, so forgive me for that. But as the fight continues, they eventually get to switch bodies, Irene and Wendy. But Wendy is so badly hurt from getting scratched a lot by herself. When Irene had it, she fainted. And Irene is just so upset that she couldn't be happy because she finally had a body and then lost it. She went dragon mode. And she actually hits Ezra in dragon mode away from her. And Ezra's body, all her bones are broken. All she has is her arm. Her right arm is the only thing not broken. And this is what people call BS again. Because Irene, we found out that she's known as a master enchant, which is the name of the episode. And basically, she's known as a dragon sage. Which dragon sage are basically they're basically the enchant versions of dragons. They basically have more mastery of that element of enchanting. So, like how fire dragons are good with fire and water good with water, or enchant sage dragons are good with enchant magic. So basically what she does is that she enchants the sky, and she kind of pulls a Fujitora from One Piece, and she summons this beautiful, bright, red scarlet meteor, and she shoots it down. And the people that are having a problem is with Ezra, because Ezra does something really weird. She puts all her magic in her one good arm, and she slams herself on the floor with it, and she actually ends up blasting herself and propelling herself upwards with the amount of force and pressure. And if you look at her hand is still going with magic, and she's doing this. She's kind of pulling a Tony Stark, and she's boosting herself up with the magic to fly upwards. And Irene is like, this girl is incredible. What kind of monster is she? And at one moment she gets kind of happy, but I don't believe she realizes that she's happy because she was like, this is my daughter. I don't think she caught on that she said that, but that did happen as Ezra boosted up, and we saw that she turned into like her, she brought out a sword to strike the meteor. But that was the end of the episode. And I know a lot of people are going to be upset, and they, oh, that's BS as well, blah blah blah. And let me explain to you why that's not BS. Now, it's going to be kind of cheesy, but this is something that Fairytail is known for, and I think it gets too much hate because other animes do this as well. Maybe not as much as Fairytail, but other animes do this as well. And what I'm talking about is the power of friendship thing. Now, the way the power of friendship works in Fairytail is usually the more good you have in you, and the more you want to do a good deed in a desperate situation, the more of an adrenaline power boost you will get. Of course, it's going to take more of a toll on your body than regular, but that happens. And we've seen this plenty of time with Natsu and Gray and Lucy and them and everything else before. So we just never seen it to this level where she's one-shotting herself upwards to a meteor. And as if you see in the preview, spoiler alert, she actually does that one-shot the meteor. So, and a lot of people are really, really upset about this. But let me explain again why. One, it makes sense. The power of friendship, like I said, it's a magical boost that happens when someone who is pure of heart, either pure evil or good, and they're trying to do a deed that's evil or good, in a desperate situation, they gain this magical rush. Now, we usually see it with the good guys a lot. We only seen it once with the bad guys, and that was against Grimmelheart, when Master Hades had all those extra hearts connected to him, and even though he got defeated, he was able to regain his energy and gain that magical boost. That's technically what one magic is. It's getting that one boost over and over and over again. But it's on an unlimited scale. And sometimes people can do it when they're in a magical situation where they're really desperate. Their magic will increase dramatically to rise to that occasion to finish off that topic. Now, I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's BS. That's a corny excuse. But if you go down below and you look at some links that I have down below, news articles, we actually do have news articles in the Word that states that people have gained superhuman strength doing incredible scared feats in their life. One of the examples is a 19-year-old girl came back from school, I believe, and she saw that her dad was under his truck and they fell off the lift and he was getting crushed by it. And this 19-year-old girl who only weighs like I think 110, 112 pounds, something like that, she was so desperate that she was actually able to lift up the car so the dad can roll over and get out. There's another situation down below where a man was able to save another man in a car crash, and he was able to actually rip the door off the hinges of the car to save this man. There's also another article. I'm not sure if I put that up down below. It should be, but you can look this up on Google, all these articles as well. And there's more articles out there. I just put a couple. There's also another article that I read that a mother was somewhere, I believe in Africa, on a visit or something like that, or in a zoo, and her daughter or son was attacked by a lion, and she went up to the lion and she actually ripped the lion's jaw to get her child out the mouth. So like I said, if in real life that can happen, then in a magical world where magic runs off your emotions, it should be able to happen as well. Of course, in a stronger level, because these magical characters are stronger than real life human characters. So combine that logic with the friendship power up, it does make sense that Ezra's able to jump in the sky with one hand and break the meteor. I mean, it's not like she's jumped up to like forward to Irene, she one-shots Irene, and then boom, the battle ends. It's not like that happens. If that would happen, okay, that's bad writing, that's BS, I can understand that. But people are just overreacting and complaining about something that has merit to it. And if you don't believe me, again, look up all the articles for yourself that I have linked down below. Or go to Google and use Google to look up articles of that type of situation. Type in humans with super strength, and you see a whole bunch of different articles that gives you explanations of certain humans that had gained superhuman strength in bad situations where there was a desperate need for it, like I gave you out before. Also, another anime that I know a lot of people love and watch, My Hero Academia. If you remember, one of the doctors stated to Deku that he had gone through something similar to that. I believe it was either during or after the Stain arc, when he was in the hospital. No, this was after the Stain arc, when they were in the hospital, and the doctor explained to him the situation about his hands, how it seems like a fire rocket had went off, and you gain like an extra amount of strength. And he was like, your limiter went off, and he explains to Deku that the limiter is basically when your brain is in a desperate situation, sometimes your brain will overreact, and this will increase your muscle spans from your brain down to the rest of your body, allowing your body to have a superhuman strength. But the repercussion of it is that your body will be shot, and you'll be really, really exhausted and tired for a couple of days, which that's what happened to Deku. Well, again, that also happens in real life, like the articles that I state. So again, Ezra doing this in Fairytail, and this Fairytail power-up, which has been called One Magic, which Hera has stated before, it's not BS. Is it cheesy and corny to overuse it again and again? Okay, that's a good argument. I can deal with that. But to say that it's BS and that Ezra shouldn't have been able to do this, it doesn't really make sense, and it's not really a good argument to put to the table. Again, I know some of y'all are going to argue and say this, and that. You're perfectly welcome to down below. Just be peaceful and mindful about what you say. Family channel, so please be, watch what you say, no spoilers. But that's that with the whole Ezra versus Elaine thing, and that should be ending next episode. The third and final thing people are gonna call BS is the Natsu situation, where Natsu, we got a glimpse of him in his dream wherein he meets Igneo, and Igneo tells him, inside you, besides the dragon seed, it's fusion with another seed you have, the demon seed. And this seed is proof that you are N. And the two seeds are fighting while they're merging together in you. And this is why you're in the predicament that you're in. Now, we didn't get much explanation, but just that's what Igneo told him before we shift over and we shift back to the rain fight. That was like a commercial break right there that we switched to real quick. But a lot of people are going to call BS. Oh, if the dragons were inside the dragon slayers to prevent the dragon seed, then why does Natsu have to worry about it? Well, of course he has to worry about it because the demon seed is acting up as well. And it's triggering the dragon seed, and they're both fighting for dominance. So it makes sense. It's not BS. It's just, can it be explained a little bit better? Okay, yeah, of course. But to say that it's BS and doesn't make sense, that's just you not really reading the material the right way. That's one of the problems with being an anime oni, or being a manga reader but not looking up like SBS or side notes of stories. Sometimes you won't get the full picture. Is it the author's fault for not being too specific? Okay, maybe that can be an argument, but again, it is what it is. But I know a lot of people are going to have their complaints and say whatever about the episode. But it was a really good episode. Very sad and intense for Herain. Feel bad for her. She's completely mind crazy. Definitely feel sorry for Wendy. Her stomach is messed up for life with her dragon claw scratching herself. Ezra, her body's going to be completely hurt for a while when she's done here. But again, it was a great episode. Just, you have to have an open mind when it comes to Fairytail or any anime with that fantasy, because they don't really follow logic like that. I mean, there's a whole bunch of people who are into Naruto and Fairytail, Naruto and Dragon Ball Z, and there's a lot of things in them, plot holes that don't make sense, but people love to worship and praise them. But then other animes like Bleach, Fairytail, and One Piece get pushed to the side, and it's like, what? Doesn't make sense. But that's all I have for you guys. Like, comment, share, subscribe, share with your family and friends. Give this video a like. Tell me down below your thoughts and opinions, what you like and didn't like. How do you feel about the dragon seed versus the demon seed, Ezra and the whole versus her mother and the comic thing? Tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. Be mindful and peaceful of what you say, because this is a family channel. That's all I have for you guys. Peace out. Have a good one.